How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid, which was up 2.82% on the day, closed around $17.85. So I know many of you were excited to see that. And if the momentum continues going into tomorrow, you're going to need an update to be prepared. So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, we want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $17.85, being up 2.82%. On the low, it tested $17.27, and then on the high, testing $18.39. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 18.781 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 30.225 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, but we also did see some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below is at 45.55. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and we are below the 21-day EMA. So it's clear to see that Lucid is in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages. But one thing we want to keep in mind, though, we had resistance right at the 21-day EMA. So we ended up seeing a high at $18.39, and right now it's set at $18.43, so not too far off whatsoever. So going into tomorrow, I want to see some price action above this level. So I'd want to see us getting to 19, and like I said, $20 would be quite the accomplishment for Lucid if it could pull it off for this week. And it will get very interesting because then I'd want to see if bulls would step in. If bulls start stepping in and they start buying up Lucid more at 20 bucks, I want to see it get to the 50-day moving average, which will be around 21.58. Now, one thing that I want to bring to your attention as far as for the technicals, we are continuing to show a lot of strength. You can see we have a good uptrend going here. So if we end up having some consolidation for tomorrow or even having a pullback, we tested support at 17.27. So if we ever decide to break through this level, as long as we could hold up right here above 16.50, I think Lucid was still doing very well. So keep an eye on that 16.50 level. But if it does break through that 16.50, I really don't see 15.88 wanting to hold, and you'll have a pullback and maybe a test around $15. But for the most part, Lucid is looking really good. Let's see how it performs going into tomorrow. Let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. As we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for the 17th, we have Beard Harris Wealth Management LLC that purchased 351 shares, and we also see Lido Advisors LLC with a closed position as well. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 61.21%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 4.31 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 400,000, updated 16 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it's at 25.20%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 13th, it is at 50.23, and then for the close of the 16th, being at 61.21. So what does that show us? Alongside with the short interest percentage of the float being at 21.26%, Lucid does have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see on the inflow, it is at 60.79 million, and then on the outflow, it's at 55.35 million. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 6.44 million. On the medium, it was 34.67 million, and then on the small, it was was 19.68 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 0.79 million. On the medium, it was 33.96 million. And then on the small, it was 20.60 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for May the 17th, we had an inflow of 5.65 million. That was today. And then when we analyze numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 1.13%. And this is exactly where we want it to be for Lucid. This tends to be the average range. And the fact that we close at $17.85, we want to see Lucid being able to get comfortable into the $18 range going into tomorrow. I'll talk about it further inside of the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, when it comes to the price action, one thing we have been noticing as of late, we have consistent resistance around the 21-day EMA. Currently, it is set at $18.43. So this is the level we want to keep an eye on going into tomorrow. If we're able to get price action above this level, then we can see Lucid making that push going to around $19. And if the market continues to look strong, we could see it getting to around $20. I mentioned that in the previous video as well. I am not guaranteeing it. I'm just letting you know if the market shows some strength, that's where Lucid could possibly go. As far as for the downside, or maybe we might have some consolidation, as long as if it could stay above 1650, Lucid does remain in strong territories. It is continuing to be in an uptrend as well, so that is good to see. But like I said, if we end up breaking below 1650, that's where easily Lucid can get down to trading into the $15 range. So add that to your homework, so you know what it looks like as far as for the downside, and you know what it looks like as far as for the upside. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we can see institutions are continuing to load up on shares. Plus, on top of that, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. So these are one of the reasons why you want to keep a very close eye on this play and have a strategy if you are going to be trading it. We did have Jerome Powell that had an interview today, and he didn't give us anything surprising whatsoever. And I think the market reacted very well to this, and that's why it's very possible we can continue to have a bull run going into tomorrow. But if we do decide to pull back, since we have been showing a lot of strength in the market as of late, I wouldn't be surprised by that either. But as far as Lucid is concerned, as long as we have big money coming into the tech sector, it should continue to perform well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.